I dropped down again from a star on a desert island full of skies, and I saw a boy looking up, dreaming of his future from my past, from...
So here we go. Yep, back from London and back from seeing Riverside live last night in Camden. Really, really, really good gig. So, what can I tell you about it? It was, first of all, incredibly wet day. The rain was coming down like you wouldn't believe. It was like standing underneath a waterfall. It was so heavy, the rain. So I think everybody standing in the queue got absolutely drenched and soaked. But it didn't matter because he soon dried out when he got indoors.
Come follow me, we'll go down where the river flows.
The gig was early. Doors were 6 o'clock in the evening. First band, which was called Mechanism, were on at 6:15. They played for 45 minutes. Missed the beginning of it, but caught the second half of their set. They sounded really good. Sounded great, actually. Not heard of them before, so they were called Mechanism. And then they finished about 7 o'clock. At which point, I bumped into Marcin, who's one of the subscribers to the channel. He came over and said hello. It was really nice to meet you. We had a chat for a bit, introduced my missus, and before we realised it, all right, could go to the bar, get another drink, and standing at the bar getting a drink, Riverside came on. So as we were standing at the bar, you could hear Riverside coming on, the huge cheer from the crowd. The lights went down, and you could hear the last moments of the day after. You know, the very, very first song from the album Wasteland, but without singing on it. So it was just the build up. And it launched into Acid Rain, and the lights came on, and it was really, really good. They continued to play for about 2 hours, and went through a lot of the songs from Wasteland. You had, as I say, Acid Rain, there was Veil of Tears, Lament. Veil of Tears sounded really good. Lament was amazing. Struggle Survival, obviously sort of mostly instrumental, came a bit later on. Quite a few, I think Wasteland was in there as well, and River Down Below, I think, was as part of the encore at the end. And then loads and loads and loads of other songs from all the other albums. So I think for me, one of my personal favourites is what's playing in the background now, a song which you can hear, which is Lost, brackets, Why Should I Be Frightened by Hat? Close brackets, which was from the album Love, Fear and the Time Machine. Sounded amazing. Obviously what's playing here is the studio version, not what was being played live yesterday. It was done slightly differently, but it was close enough to be absolutely the same. So what else is there to say? I suppose one of the things is the unfounded fear that we all had, that they no longer had Piotr Grudzinski playing with them. One of the sort of questions that I had before we went to this, how are they going to do this live? And transpires that Marius Duda, who's the bass player, carried on playing bass. So he didn't do what I thought he was going to. I thought he was going to play guitar on it and they'd get a bass player, but no, he played bass. And then they had with them another guy, Marcel Meller. Anyway, he played with them, and very, very, very good guitarist. Very different, I think, from Piotr Grudzinski. He's a completely different sort of style. I don't think anybody can really replicate the tone that he had. There were several songs that were not played. Most notably, I guess, is Escalator Shrine, which I really, really, really would have loved to have heard played, but I guess without Piotr, it's you couldn't do it justice. So it's not done. The light show, it was. I mean, it wasn't sort of Pink Floyd, but it was really good. It was excellent. It was more than just a few sort of changing flashing lights at the back of the auditorium. No, I suppose the best way to describe it, like big lights that sat on top of poles on the stage, and they sort of spun like this in this direction, and the lights were positioned on all sides, so as they span around, you had the beams going over and backwards, and you had those, I think, dotted in probably 12 of them across the stage at different heights and facing different directions, and they were all changing colours, and pushing out was a really sort of quite big bright beams of light. Huge amounts of white light at the back for emphasising the sort of the big heavy chords when it all comes back in again, and lots of sort of fairly low moody lighting at other stages. There were quite a lot of bits where the band was in silhouette, and I thought that looked really good, and I think there's some photographs that I've taken which may be sort of popping up in the video here below, and you'll see what I mean. But overall, phenomenally good sound. The live mixing was absolutely second to none. I don't think I've heard a live band sound quite as good as that. Maybe Muse, first time I heard them, which was in a smaller venue, than they normally play, because they're sort of massive stadium band now. But I saw them in a smaller venue, and it was good. This as well, Electric Ballroom, was quite a small venue. I'm guessing 1,100, 1,200 people perhaps, and all the better for it. I think the small venue is the way to go if you want to see a band. It's absolutely the best way to do it. I'm fed up with stadiums. I can't be bothered to do those anymore. It's useless. There's too many people. All you can see is you can see the band, but they're on screens. You just see dots of people in the background. The sound is awful, and you have to queue for an hour to get a beer, and it takes you about 2 hours to get home afterwards, because everyone's sort of being herded through the same sort of small streets and being sort of contained by the police. In this sort of instance, not the same. It's much better. Really good. It's the Electric Ballroom. The venue itself was it was good, really good actually. Beer was cheap for London. It was sort of less than 10 quid for 2 pints, which is unheard of. And what else? It was what it was. I mean, it wasn't sort of run down or ropey or crap. It was good. And yes, the band were phenomenal. It was a really good gig. So, highlights. It was meeting one of my subs. So, Marcin, thank you very much. It was really good to meet you. The band itself, the music, absolutely fantastic. And also being able to get my missus to come out and see a band with me as well. It was really good fun. And she didn't run away screaming. So, that's all good. I shall be getting back to doing some more videos in due course, but I just thought I'd better just sort of update you of how the night was last night. So, there you go. I'll see you guys in the next video, and until then, this is Jim, over and out.